Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Writes. We're working on Lucky Gold. It's great. So here we go. We've switched to a new character because additional perceptions are needed. I don't like to head hop too much within a scene, but without a scene, that's fine. As long as you establish who's seeing it. This is Nadine, the general property manager for the casino. He's going to talk to Mrs. Flowers. He found her seated at the dining room table, just arm's reach from that odious typewriter. That odious typewriter that, from the odious typewriter that had been dragged, that had been found in the basement. He didn't like the look of it. He didn't like the look of it. Ever. The old keys and metal shell were an anathema to modern sensibilities. And not just modern sensibilities, and what do you call it? Not the poignant past, the enjoyable past, the well, what do you call it when you nostalgic? And nostalgic. Caught amid the two and straddling badly. Miss Flowers herself had clearly just woken. Alright, so I'm going to need to cut that out. She has apparently done so, yes. She's a trooper. It's good to see her out of the house, doing stuff. I am very sorry about that. And now we will have a long pause. And we're back to it. The husband had clearly just woken. Eyes a little red, and with a hint of darkness beneath. Let me shield my keyboard from the sound so you don't have to listen to the clackety clack clack clack. Although it's a little typewriter-like, and I don't mind that. With a hint of darkness beneath. She had not luxuriated in her wealth yet. She had not so luxuriated yet as to demand a spa before visitors. And indeed, he hoped she would retain that core of self of a biologist. Plantologist? Just, not florist. Of a, no. Intelligist? No. Not florist either. Obviously. Not a florist either. Biologist? Well, a scientist, certainly. And not a mere gambler. So he's hoping that she's gonna, he's got his own hopes. At least not until she'd lost enough for the casino. Not until she'd lost enough for the casino. At least not until. Although she did need to lose enough for the casino. Lose enough for the casino to be satisfied. Tricky, sticky wicket, as his father would have said. How are you? How are you today? Miss Flowers. Yes, politely. Could be better. Anything you need? Not from you. She said, and then shook her head. The casino is certainly doing well by me. Then you will be paying us a visit soon? He asked. Dice, cards, or wheels? She asked. I thought you might take in a show. There's an excellent comedian who is sharpening up a performance of his. Perhaps the humor would help. She offered a slim smile. Without teeth. Maybe. I could use some humor. I could use some humor that isn't there's an excellent comedian who is sharpening up, perhaps. I could use some humor. Maybe. Thought you might take in a show. Maybe And maybe I should go shopping. There are excellent stores right here, or elsewhere, if you wish to try other establishment. The Triumphant is the most excellent source of ever so many. But sometimes you can find deals on the sly elsewhere. He said, and meant it. If you tried to hem people in, some would bolt for the door. Always better to be comforting. Always better to be comforting when possible. Rigid and unbending. Rigid and demanding. Only at need. Never all of one or the other either, or else people would take advantage of your nature. Might I offer you a credit card? Might I offer you a card? A preloaded card? A card that that draws on your accounts here? Really? You have that? You have that? She asked. A private credit card? Private credit card. We do. Though I will not bore you with the details. And I will not bore you with the details. And I will not bore you with the details. I would not bore you with the details. Of how. Not just for the paper pushers. The line got a laugh. A little chuckle. But she cast a glance back at her room. The room where she kept the, what would he call it? The piece of history. Odd piece of history. It wasn't unknown for high rollers to have their talismans. It wasn't unknown to have their special talismans. More than a lucky rabbit's foot, which is always unlucky for the rabbit involved. More than a lucky rabbit's foot, or monkey's paw. Some needed things just so, else they would not gamble. And so the casino obliged. Knowing that the house always won eventually. Her affectation was unusual, to be certain. An Aztec working work of art, it was suspected, found recently in the jungles of either Panama or Colombia by the woman herself. A great stroke of luck there. Certainly. And beautiful besides. All of gold, if crudely made. If crudely cast. Is there anything you wish to deposit in our vaults? He asked, recalling her answers prior to the offer. The house vaults were safe, and for her, antique, he might even open up the casino vault. Perhaps. If she requested. All right. No, she said, drawing the word along with her thoughts. Probably not. Interesting. Though he didn't know why. She might have softened on that point. Little did it matter now. The tidbit was tucked away for later consideration. Very well. Is nothing more? I was about to stop in on your gentleman caller. Oh. Tell Daniel hello, she said. I shall, though. Is something the matter with your phone? He asked. Because in this day and age, texting was remarkably easy. The matter with his, he doesn't have it. She replied. He cast another glance toward her bedroom. I'll be down later. I'll take a turn at the wheel. Thank you, Mr. Goya. As always, a pleasure, he replied. Miss Flowers stepped out. Alright, now I have an option here. I can switch to her. I think I will do so. Either let the general manager depart before she stood. The man was looking after his property, but he did there was a formal air to him that made it feel like if she stood, then they'd be here another 15 minutes with pleasantries. And besides, she kept hearing things. Soft things. Nuzzling about the, not the edge of the ear, the, nuzzling about the tips of her ears. Wordless. Thankfully. But still a thing was out, that felt out of sorts. It was the artifact. It was the artifact. She knew that. What she didn't know was how she knew. The understanding what was going on fell short. The understanding what was going on fell short. And that chafed. And that chafed at her. And that chafed at her. science. Science was literally about knowing, about comprehension, knowing about comprehension, duplication, replication, and I need another Asian. Comprehension, duplication, replication, enunciation, indemnification, no. Procrastination, I don't know. And something cornerstones of science that differentiated it from mysticism. That's not how you spell mysticism. Anyone? Apparently I had to spell it badly enough to get spell check to lock on. Otherwise it's just like, I don't understand, just whatever. The concept that dragged humanity out of darker times by a shared understanding of the world, and not something cobbled together with spirits and magic, which meant the magic, the artifact, which is not how you spell artifact either, which meant the magic of the artifact really put a burr under her skin. Things were supposed to be, and yet there it was. And there was no putting off the confrontation, such as that was. She stood and stepped and strode and walked into her bedroom. The golden face was turned toward a wall. The only way she could sleep last night. Unwilling to be in a different room for reasons that made no sense, and yet suspicious of it all the same. Alright, I'm going to have to leave it off there. We're getting somewhere. She's going to have a confrontation, and she's going to talk to the Dead King, and then we're going to swap over, and we're going to do Nadine and Daniel and Gus. So that'll be fun. We'll see a little more Gus, and Nadine is going to stifle Gus's efforts. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this. Stay safe out there, all right? Take care. Thanks.